Hi guys, this is MD Shahajada Imran. So today I will make a video and explain how the page object model framework works with Selenium WebDriver. So that is the objective of this video. So I will not explain how we can develop the automation script or how we can do the programming. I will get help from pre-written scripts that I have previously developed, and it's available in GitHub website. So the objective of this video is to demonstrate how the page object model framework works. So that I will do in this video. Let's get started. So before I explain how the page model object works, I have to create one Maven project, and in that Maven project I have to implement the page object model framework, and then I will create one sample script, one sample automation script as well. So I wrote down some steps on the Word document. The first step is to create Maven project in Eclipse. That is what I will do first. So I have Eclipse on my computer C drive. So I will open Eclipse. I will do it from the scratch. Okay. And Eclipse is asking where Eclipse will store all the project related information, all the files, packages, classes, methods, everything. So I will tell Eclipse to store in this location POM PMW PM2 in this location. So once I click on OK, Eclipse will, right now in this location under C users Imran, under this location there is no folder called workspace _ pom2. So once I click on OK, it will create one. Let me manually go there. C users Imran. If I maximize it, so there is no folder called workspace _ pom2. Once I click on OK, one will be created here. Eclipse will create for me, so that later Eclipse can store all the files under that folder. So once I click on OK, I clicked on OK. Can you see just this one just got created? That means Eclipse just created this folder. Eclipse is launching. Since this is a brand new workspace, that's why this welcome page showed up. So I will close it. Okay, now I will create one Maven project first. That is the first step. Create and set up Maven project in Eclipse. So I launched the Eclipse. Now I will create one Maven project. So I'll click on File, I'll click on New, I'll click on Other, and then under Maven, if I expand, there are three options. I will select the last option called Maven project. I'll click on next. Okay, so now I will check this one saying that create a sample project, and I will also choose the default location, this one, workspace POM2. Okay, now I will click on next. I have to give a group ID, so I will give a group ID com dot anything. I can write down my name, or I can say experiment or demo, com.demo.com, and I have to give a name here. I will say page object model project, page object project. The name I will give here, the exact name will show up here. So I will click on finish. The exact name showed up here, page object model project. Now Eclipse will create more folders and POM file as part of the Maven project. So Eclipse created the Maven project, but this project is empty. Now in the POM file, since it is Maven project, it will have a pom.xml file. There I have to give all the dependencies. So I double click on the pom.xml file, so the file will display here. Okay, if I click, it says overview, dependency, so many tabs. All the way to the right it says pom.xml. So I will click here, so it will show up the XML document. So I have to give all the dependencies here. So before I give dependencies, I have to use this tag called dependencies. Under these dependencies means so many dependency. This S makes it plural. So under this dependencies, I have to put all the dependencies. And I wrote down here there are four dependencies that I have to use to demonstrate the page object model at this point of time. So I will open Google Chrome web browser. I'm launching the Google Chrome web browser. Google Chrome web browser is launching. And we can launch from here. Sometimes it takes time to launch. See, there are two got launched now. One. So I will close one. Okay, so one right there. Google Chrome web browser is launching. In the meantime, I empty the download folder. Well, not really. I wait. access page unresponsive. Now it got launched. I maximize it. Google Chrome is slow for some reason. I don't know why. So I typed Google Chrome on the address bar, and it's launched the Google Chrome Google homepage. Now I will write down Selenium HQ and hit enter from the keyboard so that I can see this website seleniumhq.org or download. So click here. So from this website I will download two. So I will use two dependencies, these two, Selenium Java and Selenium Server. So since I need a Maven dependency, so I will click on Maven users, and then here I will get Selenium Java. So I will copy this and I will go back to Eclipse and I will paste here, and also I came back to the Selenium HQ website. I will scroll down the web page and I will get this one, Selenium Server, this one, Selenium Server, copy. If I go back to Eclipse, I enter here. So I have taken two dependencies, this one and this one, from Google Chrome, this from this website. It's called Selenium HQ. Now so I'm launching Google website again. In the search I will say Maven dependency. I got this website. Okay. From here I will take two dependencies. One is TestNG, other one is JUnit. So I write down here JUnit and click on search button. This one showed up, so I will click on JUnit. The latest version is 4.12 and that the last released on December 2014. So I will click on 4.12. Here I have all this info, so I will copy the dependency. I copied the dependency. I went back to Eclipse and I will paste here, and I will use one more dependency that is called TestNG 6.11. So I will write down here TestNG and click on search button. I got this search result. I will click on TestNG and it has so many versions. I will use 6.11, that is the most reliable version. So I'll click on 6.11 and I will copy this. I will go back to Eclipse and I will paste here. So I have copied 4 dependencies. This is one, this is another one, this is another one, and this is another one. 4 dependencies from these 4 dependencies. I need these 4 dependencies for now to demonstrate the page object model, and I will enter Ctrl Shift F from the keyboard so that this code will be intended. Ctrl Shift F. So this code got intended or organized. And I will enter Shift S from the keyboard so that this change got saved. Now I am working on the first step, create and set up Maven project. So I already created the Maven project. Now I am working on the setting up part. So I have added 4 dependencies in the POM file. I will also, once I saved it, this showed up. Now I will also need 4 WebDrivers, and I will also need a code from GitHub which I previously created, because this video I will demonstrate how the page object model framework works. So now I will create another folder to store all the drivers. I'll click on finish. I wrote down driver, I click on finish. So I just created one folder. Now I need 4 drivers that I will store under this folder. So before I download, I go to the download folder. Wherever I have, I will control A, so everything will be selected, and I will delete. Okay, so download folder is empty now, and I will download 4 drivers, web drivers. So I will click on download, and the 4 I will download one called for Firefox, one for Firefox browser. So I will click here. I'm downloading, okay, and since I have Windows 64, I will click here. It's got downloaded. If I click back, so now I will click here to download the Chrome browser. So I will download 4 browsers. Firefox I already downloaded, Chrome I already downloaded. If I go back, and I will download Microsoft Edge driver. So I'll click here. Click here. And I'll go back to the selenium.hq.org/downloads page, and I will scroll up a little bit, and I will download the Internet Explorer WebDriver. Okay, so there are 4 drivers that I have downloaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, out of these 4, 3 are zipped. So first one unzipped, so I copy this one, and I go back to Eclipse and paste under drivers folder. Go back to the downloads folder, unzip Internet Explorer, and I copy. I go back to Eclipse and paste here. I pasted 2 out of 4. And I will go back to downloads folder. I will unzip Chrome, and I copy this, and I paste here. So I have pasted 3 out of 4. I go back to download folder again and unzip the Firefox. Okay, and I copy the driver, go back to Eclipse, and I paste it here. Okay, so the Maven project looks ready to use. Now I will, so this one is step 1, create and set up Maven project in Eclipse. So I created a Maven project first, then I have added 4 dependencies in the pom.xml file, and I have created one driver folder. Under the driver folder I have stored 4 browser drivers, one for Chrome, one for Firefox, one for Internet Explorer, and other one for Microsoft Edge. Now this Maven project is ready for page object model demonstration. So this step I will make bold in the Word document, and I will change the color to green so that I can claim that this step is done, so that I can work on the next steps. And the second step is create the page object model framework. For that I need to get help from my code that I previously created. Okay, so how I will get help from the code that I previously created and I have uploaded in GitHub website. So I go to the Google Chrome browser, open a new tab, type GitHub, www.github.com, hit enter from the keyboard, so that GitHub website get launched. Now in the search box I will write down my name, MD Shahajada Imran, and hit enter from the keyboard. So this is the search result. It is under users, there is one user, so click on the one and my profile showed up here, so I will click on here so that my profile displays. Now if I click on repositories, there are so many. I will copy some code so that I can explain how the page object model work. So don't worry about this code, because this video is not to explain how we can do scripting or how we can write automation script. In this video I will explain how the page object model framework works. So I need one common API. I need some code from a particular class called common API. So I come here and okay. So there are there are 4 folders. So this one, source/test/java. Under this one I will create 2 packages. Package 1 for element repositories, click on finish. So that under this package I can store all the elements and all the methods, all the reusable methods. I will create another package for automation script. Automation scripts, and I'll click on finish. So now there are two packages that I have created. One called element repository and method library, other one called automation scripts. So since this second package, under this package I will store all the elements and all the methods, and I need this class, particular class, common API class. So I will create under this package. So I will right click, I'll click on new, I click on class. I haven't explained how the page object model works so far. Still I'm working on the prerequisite. Common API, and I will click on finish. So the common API package will be created. Now I will copy all the code that I previously created, and I will right click, I will copy, I will go back to Eclipse and I will paste here. And there are so many errors because I just pasted code and I haven't imported the packages. So I have to enter Ctrl-Shift-O from the keyboard. Ctrl-Shift-O. I entered from the keyboard. Now packages is getting imported. It is working. The packages are getting imported. So it is asking, out of these two I will choose util.list and click on next, and I will choose Java IO file, click on next, and this one I will click on finish. Okay, so these the packages that got imported. If I scroll down, I can see one error. That is because the jar is 1.5, I have to change it to 1.8. So I right clicked on it and then I will change it to 1.8. Click on OK. This got changed to 1.8, and that's okay. So there is no red color sign or there is no error sign. So I can click on save. So this is the common API that has some previously written methods which will be reused to demonstrate the page object model. And I also need to make some modification on the code that I previously created. There is a method in this common API class that launches web browser. It launches Google Chrome browser or Firefox browser or Internet Explorer browser or Microsoft Edge browser. So that method, this is the method, I have to change the path. So for Chrome I have to get the path from here. So I right click on the Chrome driver, click on properties, I get the path from here and I copy, click on OK, and I come here, I change the path, Ctrl V, and I add one additional slash as part of a regular expression. And this is for Chrome, and for Firefox this one Gecko driver. I copy everything, I copy the path, click on OK, and I paste here into V, and I add one more slash as part of regular expression. And this is Microsoft Edge. I copy the path, click on OK, and Ctrl V, so I paste it here. Now I will add one additional slash, as part of regular expression. And for Internet Explorer, I will copy the path, click on OK, Ctrl V from the keyboard, and I will add additional backslash as part of regular expression. Okay, so I have created a class called Common API under this package called element repository and method library. Here I have created this Common API class, and this class has many methods which I have created previously, and these methods will be reused during explaining the page object model framework. Okay, and now I can say this step is done, and this is called create element repository and method library. Now under this package I have to implement the page object model. What I will do, I will log into AOL website and I will log out. So to log in to AOL website, how many pages involved? I need this page. This is a page. This is a web page. It has AOL image. It has this edit box. It has this button. It also has these images. So there are so many elements of this web page. So the definition of page object model is, for each web page there will be a class, and that class will hold all the elements which are needed, and that class will also hold reusable methods and constructors. And automation scripts will be created separately. That is the base of page object model framework. So this is a web page. If I enter my user ID here and click on next, So I'm navigating to a different page. This is another page. So let me go back to the previous page. So this is the page. So I will create, this is the page. I will create one class for this particular page. So here, and those things I will create under this package, element repository and method library package. So I will right click on it. I will click on class and I will give a name. I can give any name, but the name has to be logical. So I give a name login page. I will click on finish. So this page got created. Under this page I have to have three things. One, elements. I need to have elements. I need to have reusable method. And I also need to have constructor. So these are the three things needs to be available under each page class. So if I create a class to represent this particular page only, so one class, this class will represent this page only, and under this class I can have reusable elements, I can have reusable methods, I can have constructors. So let's create two elements. So I will create this element and I will also create this element. And to create web element, or to create object, we can call it object, we can call it element, same thing. And it has a coding format. The format I copy from here. This is the format. Control V. So this is the format that I have to use to create one object. So I'm Control Shift O from the keyboard, so it got imported these three packages. So those red color symbols got disappeared. Now this is the format. I have to use find by and then how and then equal to, then how dot. There are 10 different selectors. If I am using find by, then it supports 10 different selectors. I can use a name, I can use, if I go here, it will display the list. What are the selectors I can use? I can use name, I can use CSS, I can use ID, I can use ID or name. There are total 10. So if I right click here and click on inspect element, I can see here. So it has, I can use name because it has name property. I can use ID because it has ID property. So I will use ID. Okay. And this is the value that I will collect. This is ID and this is the value I copy. I paste here and give the name username. Now I have created this particular element. Now I will create this particular element for next. So if I right click on it, if I click on inspect, it comes here. It has this, it has ID and others. So I will copy everything and I will paste here, and I go back here. I will take ID value here, I paste here, and I will give a name next button. Next button. So I have created two elements. This is one element and this is another element. Now I have to create getter method. So since these objects or elements declared as private, so I have to create a getter method, which is called encapsulation under OP concept. So I will say private element, this one, so I have created one reusable method that will return this object. Why I am creating this method? Because I have declared that object as private, and therefore I have to create a method to access it, which is called encapsulation. And also I copy everything and paste here for the next object or next element. Okay, now constructor. So constructor name and the class name must be same. Double quote so that it's default constructor. So I have created one default constructor. So constructors are here, reusable methods are here, and the elements are here. Now, since I have created two elements, this one, and is stored under this class, page class, and I need to check if the elements or the objects I have created, they are the right object, and for that I will get help from some code that I previously created, which is don't worry about these sample codes. Ctrl+Shift+O from the keyboard. So there are three methods I have created. Those are reusable methods. there are two objects, two elements I have created. Those are reusable, and one constructor. These are the three things must be under a page class. As part of page object model, there cannot be anything else. That is, if I have something else out of these three, that is the violation of page object model framework. But I will add some code temporarily just to check that the object I have created, these are the correct object, even though that is the violation of the page object model framework, and that code I will add temporarily. These two codes, these two methods, I will add here temporarily, and I will delete it. So Ctrl+Shift+O from the keyboard and click on finish. Still there are more red color signs. That's because I have to extend the common API, which is called inheritance in OOP concept. Now if I scroll down, there is no red color symbols. Everything disappeared. And these two methods temporarily, these are not part of the page object model framework. These two methods I have added just to check that the object I have created, these two, are the correct object. It's actually these two objects, not something else. So if I run it, it should highlight those two elements or two objects. The script should launch Google Chrome browser and highlight those two objects. And this is not part of the page object model. This is just for me to check that the object I have added, those are the correct object. Actual script will be developed later. Okay, so the object I have created, and those are correct objects because I have created one object for this and I have created another object for this, and I have checked that the object I have created, those are correct objects. So based on the page object model, these are part of the page object model where I have created two objects and three methods and one constructors. Based on the page object model definition, for each web page, this is a web page, there will be one class. This is a class, and under this class all the elements which are required will be created here. So I have created two, and also there will be reusable methods. There are three I have created, and also there will be constructor. And these two methods are violation of page object model. These two models should not be here. I will delete later. I have temporarily added here just to check these two objects are the objects I have created. These two, the objects that I have created, these two are the correct object. Okay, now if I enter manually here my name, and click on next, I go to a different page, and this is a different page. it has different sets of elements. So for that I have to create another page, because based on the page object model framework, for each web page there should be a class, and each class will hold only three things: reusable methods, objects, and constructors. So since this is a separate class, since this is a separate web page, so I will create another class. So I right click here, I will click on new, I will click on class, I will give a name would be login password, login password page. I just give a name, random name, and click here. Now in this page I will add two objects, this one and this one. So there are three things I can have: elements, I can have methods and constructors. Based on the page object model framework. So I will, and under elements I will create two elements. One is the password element, other one is the sign in element, and it has a format, particular format. So I will copy the format from the previous page. This is the format, so I copy this format, paste here, so I know this is the format. And if I go back here, inspect element, and I will also use the ID. So it says login password, copy, and I will give a name. What I will do, since I have sample code previously written, I copy from there and explain instead of writing from the scratch. Password page. So I copy everything and paste here. Ctrl Shift O from the keyboard. Click on next. And I also extend common API. Common API. Okay. So Ctrl Shift F. Based on the page object model, since this is a new page, so I created a new class, and each class can have objects. So I have created two objects, can have reusable methods. There are three reusable methods, and can have constructor. And I did not create any constructor here, because if I do not create any constructor, Java will create the default constructor for me. And this one, these two methods are temporarily I have added just to check the object I have created. These two objects, these are correct objects. I will delete later. Those are temporary two methods. So I run it now. it navigated to the password page and it highlighted those two elements. That means now if I put the password and click here, previously caps lock was on. So if I put the password, click here, it comes in this page. So this is a new page. So since it is a different page, it has so many elements, so I have to create another class for that particular page. So that class will represent this page, and that class will hold all the elements, reusable methods and constructors. These are the three things that class can hold based on the page object model framework. So I will create that class. I will give a name, homepage. Click on finish. And this class can have three things: reusable elements, it can have methods, and it can have constructor. So those things I will get help from the code that I have previously created. So this is the home page. It has so many. I will only take, I probably take 4 elements from here. So it can have elements, it can have methods, it can have constructors. That's the page object model of frameworks condition. So only these three things can have. So I take 3, I just copy it from there, Ctrl Shift O. One, two, three. I actually do not need this one. Okay, so I have created 3 objects or 3 elements, and I need 3 methods that represent these three elements. So I copy this 3. And I also need a constructor. So there are 2 constructors here. Okay. Ctrl Shift F. Ctrl Shift O. Okay. So I have 3 elements. I have 3 methods, I have 2 constructors. That represents this page object model framework. Now I will have some temporary code just to check. I will have some temporary code. These 2 are temporary. I will delete it at the end of the video. Ctrl Shift O, finish, and I will also extend common API. In the previous file, I need to give the correct password. Don't tell anyone. Okay. Now I will right click and run just to check that the objects I have created, those are correct objects. So this script navigated to the home page, and it should highlight those two. It should highlight two elements: the user ID and the logout button. Yes, it did. It highlighted the user, this and this. Now I minimize other things. Now since I want to click on this button, login button, logout button. Once I click on logout button, this page comes up, and this is a new page. So I have to create another class that represents that page. So I'll right click here and click on class. I'll give the name. Just give a name, click on finish. Now I will copy the code from pre-written script, password, logout verification page. Okay, it has, I copy everything. And paste here. Ctrl-Shift-O. TestNG. Next. TestNG finish. And also I extend here. Common API. So there is no red color. Ctrl-Shift F so that it got extended. Now I have created one object here, one method, and two constructors. These are the part of page object model, and this method is temporarily just to check the object or element I created that is the right element. So in this, it will navigate to that page and it will select one element, or it will highlight one element, the element I have created under that particular page class. Just click on the logout button now, and then navigate to the next page, and then highlight that particular element. it will highlight the element called yes, sign me out. This one. Okay, it did that. So for the page object model framework, the definition is for each web page there will be a class. That class will hold all the elements of that particular page and reusable methods and constructors. And there will be a separate package to develop all the automation scripts. So this is a separate automation script. This is a separate method. This is a separate method. So here I will create the automation script. So I right click on it, click on class. I will say automation. Suite 1. Automation script suite 1. Click on finish. I will also extend common API. Okay. Now I will copy code from previously created a script instead of writing. I created one script. I copied one script from previously created and Control Shift O. Next, finish. So all symbol got, all the red color got created. Control Shift F. So this is TestNG. And this is the before method, and this is one test. And what is happening here? Login page. This is login page. Let me copy this name actually. Copy here. And paste here. Actually, I have declared this as private. It should be public. Okay. Now if I run it, then the script, the TestNG script will launch Google Chrome browser, then log in and log out. And I did not explain how we can do the scripting or how we can do the Java programming, because that is not the intention of this video. In this video, my intention is to explain the how page object model framework works. Okay, I probably put the wrong password here. Change the password to correct password first, and run it again. So a script is logged into the AOL page. A script will click on the logout button now, and then it will click on the another button called yes, log me out. It will click on this blue colors button. It got logged out. The script is passed. Animation script is running. Okay, the execution ended. It says execution phase. It says no, okay. That's probably because of the synchronization timeout. That's because of the synchronization timeout. And the script executed. Now, let me write down the page object model thing. Everything is done. for the definition for each web page, there will be a class. Each class can have reusable elements, can have reusable methods, and can have constructors. It cannot have anything else. Since it cannot have anything else, what I had previously, that I will delete. So this is the login page. Login page, I had this too. This was temporary, so I deleted. Based on the page object model, it can only have elements, methods, and constructors. Okay. This I will delete. This too temporary. And this one also I will delete. This is temporary. Because if I have this two method under that particular class, that is the violation of page object model. Based on the page object model, this page class can have only elements, methods, and constructors, nothing else. And the actual script will be created separately under separate package. So I have deleted those temporary methods. And also in the automation script, and automation script should be created here. I will run one more time. And this is the final definition of the page object model. For each web page, there will be a class, and that class will only hold reusable elements, reusable methods, and constructors, nothing else. And the automation scripts will be created separately, where in that automation scripts there will be an instance for this required page classes, which is part of the scripting or the Java programming, which I am not going to explain in this video. So that is the concept. So I have, in this video I have showed how we can create Maven project, how we can set up, and then how we can create the page classes and store all the reusable elements for each class, and reusable methods and constructors. And I also created one sample automation script by using instances of these page classes. While I was talking, the script was running. The script launched the Google Chrome browser and navigated to this page. The test execution ended, and it says run 1, 0 failure, and everything passes. And also I tell in short that since there are 4 pages, page class 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is common API, and this is where the automation scripts are created. So here I have created an instance of login page. This is the page. I have created an instance of login password page for this one, I have created an instance of Eval homepage for this one, and also created an instance for this. This is the instance I created for this particular page, logout page, for this page. So this is the automation script. This is the automation script which is created under this package and under this suite. And this is the page object model, page classes. And to develop this particular one automation script, there are 4 classes, 4 pages required. Therefore 4 page classes has been developed here. So that is the overview of the page object model framework. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.